Morning.
What up?
How you doing?
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's sunny outside at least.
I know. Sunny, kind of sunny yesterday and sunny today, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah. My dogs think it's like 75 outside. Walk outside and it's 40. But
Morning, Glenn.
at least it's sunny. I was hoping it'd be nicer weather. I was hoping garage sales would start this weekend because they usually do, but not so much. I've usually mowed half my yards by now too. I haven't mowed any yards yet. It's just been too cold.
Oh, I'm really sorry the weather isn't doing what you want it to do, you know?
Yeah. Thanks. I've been praying, but
You took the words right out of my mouth.
it just isn't working. I guess you're not supposed to pray for like stuff for yourself, huh?
Mm-mm. Only other people. It's all that counts.
You got to stop wishing for $1 million every night.
Wishing or praying, it's different.
Same thing.
One of my favorite sayings was worrying is like praying for what you don't want to happen. Kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. Well, I believe that your brain doesn't know what it really wants, but if you keep telling it that,
Mm-hmm.
you almost willing it to happen because it doesn't know the difference.
Right.
It just tries to give you what you're asking for.
Right.
It's like when we talk about buying a Jeep, it's like crazy. That day you'll see Jeeps everywhere just because you were talking about it. Like open yourself up to it.
Morning, Gina.
What up? Found some Under Armour gold cleats, new in box. Ooh, nice. Those easy to sell on eBay. Anthony,
did you do your research on the Kardashians? That's what Gina wants to hear from you.
No, I'm a little behind.
See, I thought you were going to research Kardashians, and I was going to come up with a really good Reddit post because I got to.
Yes, I didn't follow through.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at following through.
F on homework there, bud.
Ask my ex-girlfriends. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything with the Kardashians, and I never will. I know one of the guys is Olympic. I think the dad was an Olympic something, and then now he's not a dad. I guess he's still dad. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
That's a good question. If your dad transitions to a female, do you start calling him mom? Or do you still call him dad? And if you called him dad, would he sue you?
Probably should. You know, I was thinking about that the other day. Remember I was telling you about that stock guy I like to watch on, it's called Stock Market Live. But he was talking about that one day. And he was talking about all these ways that you can get in trouble without knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how one of his buddies got in a car wreck, and he got in a car wreck with his best friend. His best friend sued him. But it was actually suing the insurance company. He's like, no, it's not like I hate you. It's just I hate your company. I'm just getting money out of your company.
Oblivion if you crashed
insurance company.
I was riding with you.
Huh?
I would sue you into oblivion if you were driving.
Well, it reminded me of times that I've done that. I've wrecked with people in my car.
Never wrecked when I was in your car.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
I said you've never wrecked when I was in your car.
Huh?
You've never wrecked.
Shoot, my internet's cutting out.
Golly. Got too much stuff on there, bud.
Am I chopping up?
Huh?
Am I chopping up? I can't. You're chopping out to me. It must be me.
Yeah. You got any extra tabs open that you can close?
Turn
off the Wi-Fi on your phone.
Maybe.
Yeah. You got 47 tabs open at eBay.
Forgot all the porn tabs. Oops.
I had 8 videos going. My bad.
Rest it.
Hey, so real quick before we get too far away from that.
Taylor Hawk, is he the drummer from Foo Fighters?
I don't know.
That's weird. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Who's Taylor Hawkins?
The American musician.
Pretty sure it's a drummer from.
Drummer for Foo Fighters. Yep.
Holy crap! He's like 40 years old. Oh wow. That sucks.
Real quick, before we get too far away, I want to tell something funny what we were just talking about. So we used to deliver to a certain restaurant, and there was a guy there. There was a guy that delivered for us, and he was super polite. He called everybody ma'am and sir, and he was delivering to this one time, and the manager was a cross-dresser, and he kept calling her sir because he didn't know what else to do. And she got mad and called into the company and complained on him for that. Like, can you imagine even taking that call? Like, because the person that took the call like knows the guy and knows he's a cross-dresser, and it's just like, okay, man, how do you respond to that? I don't
know. I just don't even know what to say about that stuff anymore. I don't know why we want people to acknowledge us in the way that we want without telling them first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like obviously the presentation you're putting forward isn't working. So if you just tell me what you want to be, I'll say that. I don't really care what you want to be.
Start wearing name tags so we know what to say instead of getting sued.
With the title.
Seriously?
My name.
I remember that was one thing.
Okay, whatever.
That's one thing I focused on when I trained people to serve and bartend. I used to tell all my servers and bartenders, because they all did it, was they would say thanks guys to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can't say thanks guys to 4 women at a table by themselves. It just comes off as really weird. And this is way before people actually got mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a girl one day, she got mad at me because I kept calling her hun. And I don't know. I just always deemed that as like I don't know. I always saw that as a good thing. I never saw it as being a bad thing. She's like, stop calling me hun. I'm like,
have you always
like it was demeaning? Yes.
Call them all sweetie and cutie and honey. They don't like that, Anthony.
Yeah, I talk down to everybody.
Just say their name. Hey there, good looking. What's up there, honey, sweetie?
Hey, hottie.
It is funny because if you have like a really old dude that you would think of as like your grandpa, and if you're a girl, and if he called you like honey, you'd probably, and he was like 5 feet tall, you'd be like, whatever. But if you had some guy that was like big burly guy that was 30 that called you honey, you might be like, why are you calling me honey? Like I can see that. But and also me as a guy, if I had some super old lady that was like my grandma that called me sweetie or something, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But if then someone was like my age, it was calling me sweetie, I was like, are you flirting with me right now? Are you slush?
Well, I think the point is like people don't realize that they are the ones that are quirky, and then they expect everybody else to not be that way. You know what I mean? Like if you're quirky, that's fine, but you shouldn't expect everybody else to be just like you. It's kind of, I don't know.
My name is Jason.
Of course, that girl that was mad about the hun thing, I saw her walking down the road like a couple weeks later by herself, and she was talking to herself. So I didn't put a lot into that.
Yeah.
Actually, she was more yelling. I don't think she was talking. So, it's one of those scary moments, like when I went to see you last year for your birthday, and I'm in St. Joe, and I'm driving down the road, and there's a guy just walking up the highway with his head down right at me. I'm like, I didn't even want to go in the other lane. I was afraid he's going to I thought he was trying to die or something.
Did the zombie apocalypse start, or you?
Yeah, it's like I didn't get the memo. Maybe I should watch the news.
What?
I was just thinking about that guy. It was just I went by him. He barely even looked up, even when I went past him. He was just.
I know what you're talking about too, and I don't know what's up with that area right there, but it is sketchy. I'm like, don't slow down right there. Just don't even stop at the light. It's only one. There's only one light. The cops won't care. Just keep going.
That's like when I was bartending, people would talk about Springfield being bad parts of town and all this stuff. I'm like, you have no idea. I'm like, this town's 3 times the size of St. Joe, and St. Joe is 3 times worse in crime and being scared of places. I swear.
But also, I mean, this town, the sketchy areas like that are really just like homeless, like weird people, or like, you know, you can tell they're like a tweaker or something. But when you being in like Chicago, and I didn't even go to the bad areas, but being in like the subway and stuff, I mean, that's interesting for real.
I bet.
Being down there too, because I remember I said, I was like, there's like no security down here or anything. We're in like a cave, and there's like a rail right here. If I jumped on it, I would die. And if somebody pushed me in front of this train, I would die. And there's just a bunch of people down here acting weird. There was like a guy sitting in a wheelchair with no legs asking for money on the platform, just sitting there with like socks on his hands. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm in a movie right now. But
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I still feel like it was like something could go real sideways down there, and nobody would be there to do anything about it. Like you are so out of sight of everything. I'm sure there's cameras.
That reminds me of an analogy. Someone was saying, and I'm not, of course, this is the Morning Onion, so I don't know the exact numbers, but it was comparing shark attacks of people that actually died from a shark attack and the amount of people that were pushed in front of subways in a year's time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 11 a year just in New York City alone or something crazy. And there's like 3 deaths from shark bites every year all around the world, So that kind of shows you like, you should be more worried about getting pushed in front of a subway train than getting killed by a shark.
Mm.
What's Glenn say? Yeah. Just to not offend anybody. Before long, we're going to start talking like robots. Hi, how are you today?
We went down one time. I was down in Dallas, and we went to the JFK Museum, and the lady was taking my money. She was an older lady. She was like, kept calling me baby. She was like, yeah, baby, you're going to go right here. Okay, baby. And she said it like so many times, and it was really funny. And I was thinking the whole time, yeah, this lady obviously does this to everybody, And then I think it was my brother was behind me, and she was like, yeah, it's $15 when he came up. It's funny because she didn't say it at all to anybody else but me when I was standing there watching everyone else go through the line. Well, it was funny because you know how some people do that. You can tell like you're somewhere where you're going through a line and they might say one thing to everybody and it's just like whatever. And I was just thinking that like surely she literally said it in like 3 times in every sentence, like at the beginning of the sentence and the end of the sentence to me. Super funny.
That's funny.
You're going to enter right here, baby. And here's your change, baby. And I was like, okay.
That's facts. River City's are always sketch. St. Joe, Kansas City, Columbia, St. Louis.
There's rivers everywhere. I don't know if that's
big rivers. Yeah.
Literally every city has a river.
You're such a Debbie Downer.
Why they build the cities there?
Mason Downer.
Let's build the city out in the middle of nowhere where there's no access since we haven't invented cars yet. Good call.
Sorry, you're wrong. I just want you to know. We all prosper on the river, so.
We are all now dumber having heard that comment, and a simple no would have sufficed.
You trying to run off my favorite people?
No, not Smartacre.
What up, Harry? I was testing 45s yesterday, and I was just jamming them so loud. Blondie and what was it? Oh crap! Huey Lewis and News, Heart and Soul.
I love that song so much. I've listened to that song like 10 times this week.
It's a good song. They had a very unique sound.
Yeah.
And that Mandolin Rain song by Bruce Hornsby and the Range. I love that freaking song.
What
it doesn't have hardly any mandolin in it, but
what's the name of the song?
It's called Mandolin Rain, and you have heard it a million times. You just don't recognize the title, most likely. It has a little bit of mandolin in it.
Sings just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
That's actually the first song on my wake up routine for my Alexa, my Echo Dot. It's my wake up song. It's just the way it is. I'm like,
start treating Alexa like we do kids, like spell it out.
Yeah, I can't say it. It'll be like, I don't know what that means. Shut up. I'm not talking to you.
Like you can't say go outside with your dogs, the freak. You have to spell it.
So, yes. Just facts.
Hashtag facts.
If you're just joining us, we're discussing whether or not all cities have rivers or not, and they do. So most of them, even the small ones, have a ditch.
There's a creek, at least a creek.
A creek. It's not a creek. It depends on the size of the town. The smaller the town, it's a creek.
I want a new duck, not a turtle dove. Oh, that's good stuff. It's funny because I used to sing that song all the time to when I was a kid. And I bet my parents were like, "Look, I want a new drug, one that won't make me sick."
I had that.
I'm like 7 years old singing, "I want a new drug."
Yeah. Of course, most all cities have rivers, but not all are river cities. Play on words.
I think she's digging a hole.
You wanna do-si-do?
Well, I'm sure most big cities have rivers on them because that was the way to transport anything for 100 years.
That's kind of my point. Like before, there was like this really strong transportation system. That's all they had, which is why cities started on rivers. Oh. So I have a really good Reddit post for the
Sweet.
Morning Onion news. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
So this is one post, and I'm gonna dig into the comments a little bit because the comments are the actual content, but the post is just a question. Are you ready?
Yep.
And you're gonna have to bear with me because there's 20,000 comments. So there's some that are just whatever, but some are like amazing. So what strange events have gotten swept under the rug like they didn't even happen? And there's 20,000 comments on here. I don't even want to start with this one, but I don't want to miss it. And I'm going to translate all of the profanity into something more generalized, just because there's so much of it. The metric shite ton of COVID relief money that was given to companies that was misappropriated and will never be paid back and is only marginally being analyzed and investigated. You remember that? I mean, that was just a couple years ago because I actually read the what do you call it? The actual paperwork that came out that said how much they gave to everything. And do you remember there was like $75 billion or something that was given to the Smithsonian for extra cleaning supplies, and there was all those different line items in there.
You looked it up.
Yeah, it was ungodly amounts of money that were sent to all those government agencies.
What was crazy to me was it was all gone in less than a week. I'm like, what? $2.5 trillion? Yeah, maybe next time.
All right, here's another good one. And I'm going to read a couple of these. So if you want to stop and talk about one, just go. So Verizon and AT&T were given a shite F ton of tax breaks and taxpayer money to build up fiber infrastructure for internet across America. They pocketed the money and didn't build anything. No one seems to give a flying F that these companies basically fraudulently stole billions in taxpayer money.
Wow.
And I don't know. These are just random people posting this stuff. So these may be people that like actually work there, or they might just be somebody that read something dumb on the internet and it's false. So I don't know if these are true or not.
Sure.
This is a good one. In my hometown, the police chief was accused of having sexual relations with an underage girl. The father of the girl was one of the officers on the force. He was later found dead near the property of the chief. People believe he was there to confront the chief about the relations. 9/11 happened, and the attention of the public got focused on the nation's tragedy. He is now the mayor.
Whoa.
It's funny too because I was reading this morning and I was thinking there are two scandals that I know of that have happened here in my town, and I won't even talk about them because there were people killed over it. So, yeah.
There was a huge scandal that went down like 6 months ago. We finally figured out this story of how these people went missing 30 years ago. It was a huge story in Springfield. They finally figured it out, and you heard about it in one day, and then the rest it just got buried.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
Gina says it's too early. Does it mean it's too early for a conspiracy theory talk? Here's one. Speaking of Chicago, the Chicago police running a clandestine black ops prison, people held with no access to legal counsel or trial. The story broke and nothing more came of it. And then there's actually a link here to a newspaper article about it. So they actually gave a source on that one.
Yeah.
This is a good one. This one's pretty heavy though. I'm just going to read it. The financial panic of 2008 was triggered by a 550 billion drawdown of money market accounts in the USA. About 11 a.m. on Thursday, September 15, 2008, it was an electronic run on the banks. Had they not closed down the money market accounts immediately, the Treasury estimated that by 2 p.m. that afternoon, 5.5 trillion would have been withdrawn, and the entire economy of the United States would have collapsed, and within 24 hours, the world economy would have collapsed. Who did the initial $550 billion drawdown? This info was put in the memory hole, and the press does not discuss it. The Wikipedia article has only the following sentence. By the morning of September 18th, money market sell orders from the institutional investors totaled 5.5 trillion out of total market capitalization of 4 trillion, but 105 billion liquidity injection from the Federal Reserve averted an immediate collapse. I did not know that, but this article is highlighted and has like 50 awards, so that means a ton of people have read it and agree with it. So, sorry, that was a lot of data that I read really fast there. Here's a really good one, though. The anthrax attack straight after 9/11, seemingly unconnected, and no one was ever charged from memory, largely forgotten. That one was messed up.
Yeah, but you're not even telling the whole big story of it. It was government grade that was from our highly secure facilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the craziest thing about it. It wasn't just like random. It was like the finest out there, I guess. Anyway.
This is a good one. Some really affluent guy had a private zoo in a small country town, less than 100 people. When he died and all his animals escaped, the town gets nicknamed Monkey Town. And for years, there are monkeys and huge cats wandering this one little town. It's been over 50 years, and people still talk about hearing strange noises in the trees and finding mutilated pets hung in trees. The local government never addressed it and turned into some weird urban legend. Dude, how scary would that be?
Weird. Yeah, got attacked by a baboon again.
Yeah, don't go outside at night. It's like living in
silverbacks are kind of tough.
What's the I'm thinking of Avatar. Yeah, we live in Pangea. Don't go outside at night. You'll probably be dead.
Isn't it weird? Like hippos and like baboons have these like huge fangs and they kill people, but they're plant eaters. They don't even eat animals.
That's a good point.
It's really weird.
The fire at the JFK Museum records wing during the Boston bombings. That's interesting.
Say it again. The
fire at the JFK Museum records wing during the Boston bombings. So there was a fire at the JFK records wing.
Exact same time.
During the,
almost like it was a diversion.
Mm-hmm. So it had some of the oldest records of that, like data around that. Somebody says, anyone remember the rumors of Kim Jong-un being ill? So funny.
Those are good.
Crazy.
Yeah. It is amazing how like something that's just so newsworthy, and the next day, if they don't keep talking about it, everybody forgets. I think we all do that. I mean, I think that's why news just does what they do. I just hope that no one brings it back up again.
Yeah.
It is kind of it's pretty crazy, especially like now when there's been, for the last couple of years, all these conspiracy theories on COVID and all this stuff, and they would shut you down. And then now a lot of those things were true, and now you can say them. It's like, that's weird.
Mark Zuckerberg created 2 AI robots for Facebook named Alice and Bob. They started communicating with each other in some unknown language, so they had to shut down the program. And still to this day, they never figured out what the robots were saying to each other.
Yep.
That's
yeah, they made up their own language in like almost no time, and they had to shut them down. I remember that happened. Jade Helm and Pizzagate, 2 of my favorites. Well, did you happen? You didn't go on there and read that Russell? You didn't go on and see that Russell Brand video, did you?
I didn't.
Oh man, it is. I mean, it's scary. That's honestly scary.
Tell me about it. I forgot about it actually.
Supposedly, and he has the documents in his hand, and you know how YouTube is. They'd shut down his channel if it wasn't true. And he's like, our biggest export is, wait for it, blood.
Blood?
We always think that when we're giving our blood, it's going to other Americans. No, they sell it to other countries. They sell it to billionaires.
For like, just for what? Just
I don't know.
Transfusions for health stuff or what?
Well, I know that they do inject blood into people before they go and do like athletic events. They say that it actually helps them to perform better. So some people do get like blood transfusions right before. So I don't know what they were doing with it, but there's a trail of people buying it. It's just like, what? Who would have thought? It's because they always had that conspiracy theory that there's billionaires that do something with blood. I don't even know what they do, drink it or something. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird that like this conspiracy theory that always people are like, oh, that's crazy. Now it's like, yeah, it's true. What?
This is a good one. Congress being able to insider trade legally.
Yeah,
that's one of those things that's just so out there that you can't even do anything about it, which is so unfair.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Especially, it doesn't even matter because even if you tell them they can't, they're still going to tell their siblings, their significant other, their friends. So it's not. I mean, you're not going to stop it most likely, but it's pretty awful. I mean, look at I was looking at this the other day. They showed a video of each car company in the world and how much their car company's worth. So I'm waiting. Ford's got to be the highest. Chevy's second. So they're going up, and Ford was $70 billion. It was like half. It was like at 75% to the top. They weren't that close to the top. And then Chevy, GM, was like 82 billion, and then it just went up and up and up. And then because like Toyota was like 200 billion, and there was a bunch. There was like 2 or 3 Chinese companies that were higher than GM or Ford. And then it got to the last one, and it was 761 billion. Guess who it was?
I don't know. It's either going to be something I completely don't expect, or it's just going to be Tesla. I don't know. Either that or like Chrysler.
Tesla.
Tesla.
Wow. It was far and away I mean, far and away more valuable than any other car company. I
So
thought that
that
was
would
strange.
be
For
so,
as long as he's been doing it, that's pretty fast to overtake those guys.
so that's like the amount of money the car company is worth, or that's like their gross sales, or what? That was their company
This
value.
is yeah, their value.
Hmm.
I I mean, I didn't know it'd be that much because it was like the highest was like 300 and they were 760 or something. Like it was over double. And I know that's not SpaceX included in that. That's separate, So I thought that was kind of crazy to see.
Charges a lot for shipping though, so
Yeah, it's almost like, is it worth it? What about returns?
oh, that taxes.
Oh
Hmm.
my God, I love going into people's lives now that are reselling, and they have all these new people into their lives, and everybody has the same comments. It's just so ridiculous. And I'm just glad they all feel that way. Like, I just don't want returns. I don't want to have to deal with it. I'm like, cool, glad you don't gonna join eBay. More for me.
Yeah. Well, I can see their point because I had a return this week. It's kind of been a huge pain in my butt. So yeah, but it's actually the only one I've had so far on, or for like, actually, it's been the first one I've had in like 2 years. So
Well, the funny thing with me was every time I get a return, I usually end up selling it for more money than I did the first time. So I end up getting that shipping money back anyway.
mm-hmm.
Um, Especially if something is free or $1.50. It's not like you're out anything, you know. That's why I love buying 45s for 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, worst case scenario, it skips a little bit and I keep it.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for Tracy to get in here. I want to ask her about the USPS in Texas and see what the heck's going on down there. I want some info from boots on the ground down there.
Yeah.
She usually comes in at about 11.
Yeah.
And then Tommy usually comes in at about 11:15, and just to get info.
Let's get some dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't have any problem with my items getting scanned. My stuff gets where I take my stuff to the post office. The USPS comes into the place like 4 times in a day to pick up new items. So it's like I'm good to go at my place.
Maybe since you live in such a small town, there's just like one mail carrier, and he has really nothing to do. So
Yep, he actually walks the entire town.
walks to the light, then back to the post office, and that's pretty much his whole route.
I couldn't imagine walking. Like on the north side, they have to walk because everybody's mailboxes are on their house, and so on the north side, that's where all the cheap housing's at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody on the north, 50% of the people on the north side have a pit bull in their house, and I've asked every time I see a mail carrier up there, I ask them like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, do you see a lot of pit bulls? And he's like, "Yeah, had one jump through a glass window at me last week, and
Oh my
had to
gosh.
run." I'm like, "You serious?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And he said the crazy thing is they can't ever complain about it.
Why? Because it's
He said the post office, the instant you go to the news or say anything, they'll fire you. I'm like, what? I mean, you get bit by a pit bull, I think you should be able to make a big deal about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is weird. If you had a job where people are trying to attack you and animals are chasing you, like while you're at work, you think your job sucks.
Yeah.
They don't take credit cards.
We just take quarters. We need quarters.
Where's Gina from? It's Texas, right? Small town in Texas.
Yep.
That's super weird.
They're all backwards.
I would think
they'd be a lot from Missouri.
I think they'd be required to. It's like technically the government trying to save 2%. We only take cash.
Well, I
There
guess
you go. Government trying to collect all the money back so they can keep it.
they don't make money, so they got to find a way, right?
Oh,
You
interesting.
know, it is funny when you hear them talk about like, yeah, we could knock off the 15 cents a gallon gas tax. It won't help that much. Screw it. We'll just leave it. It would be nice if they got rid of that at times like this.
Yeah. We already take like half your money and we kind of need all that. So we're just going to leave it the way it is. Cool.
So we'll sacrifice,
Yeah.
not our government. Huh?
Yeah. And listen, we want to thank you for giving us half your money. We're going to go ahead and send most of it to state sponsored agencies and museums for cleaning supplies. So, have you heard of viruses? They're dangerous.
Yeah.
We need more Lysol.
There's a lot of Smithsonian
right now. Let me make
70
it.
billion. 70 billion's worth it. You know how many mops you have to buy?
Yeah. Then we had to send most of the rest of it to other countries because they need it.
Yeah, because we're good. We're nice people. It is amazing how much money we give to other countries. Like,
Yeah. And they all hate us.
But we all complain we don't have enough money for certain things that we all want as people. Like, you're giving it away.
I wonder if I moved to another country, they would just send me the money over there.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because, the cost of living is cheaper there, so the money will go further.
Yeah.
You got outhouses and stuff. You don't have to pay for electricity.
You guys ever heard of plumbing? Let me show you. Here's what you do. Hook these pipes together, and then your poop goes away from your house.
Oh, really? I have to use my hands
What
and pee to...
a bucket full of corn cobs for in the outhouse? That's toilet paper. Oh,
Yeah, she moved from Kansas. That's right.
Lubbock.
What's up, brother?
Is not sure if it's vintage. Is that Kyle, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Kyle?
He's been in a lot of the chats recently. I've seen him in Jackass Retro quite a bit. I usually watch him when I'm listing.
He's obviously a stalker.
Facts. I like Jackass Retro. He's funny. He gives out some good information on postcards, what will sell, what won't. So I like that. Kind of keeps you from wasting some time.
Mm-hmm. So did the Dollar Tree go change their prices where you're at to $1.25?
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to talk about this. What are we going to call it? The $1.25 tree or the $1.25 tree? I feel like we need to establish something in stone.
I don't know on that one.
Dollar plus tree. What if it goes to $1.50 next year?
Well, yeah.
$1 and then some tree.
Well, what I noticed too is not only that they made everything smaller.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that too, because
smaller and cheaper. You pick it up and it just breaks before you can get the register.
We don't have enough money for the containers.
Cellophane, we cut that out.
Well, and I was telling you that I usually get the Dawn soap.
Yeah.
It's like this big now. It used to be about this big, and now it's down to about like that.
Which is funny because those products, if you go to like even like Hy-Vee or Price Cutter or Walmart, usually they're $1 there because they're trying to compete with Dollar Tree, like some of the stuff like that.
And usually it used to be a good deal. And then I went to Walmart the other day and they had the same bottle I used to get for $1.25. And it's $4.25. And no, actually it's bigger. But it was $4.25. And I remember thinking, shoot, I could probably fit 6 of those little ones in that bottle. So it's not Dollar Tree's not a good deal anymore. It's like, I don't know. It used to be. I guess there's still a few things it probably is.
I feel like they could stay open just for the cards. I mean,
I hate those freaking balloons.
What balloons?
At Dollar Tree.
Why?
Because they'll end up, someone will be in line just for the balloons and they'll get like 10 of them. They have to go fill them all up. We're all just sitting there waiting while they decide, like, I don't know. I really like that one. Can we go with this one too? I'm like,
The pink hearts, the red hearts. I don't. The ones I go to I don't think that's an issue.
Hmm.
We don't really do balloons up here. We don't have COVID. We don't do balloons. There's a lot of stuff.
you don't do, yeah, you don't do happy. I get it.
No, no one works. We don't do jobs.
We call each other river rats here.
It's almost like the apocalypse here.
How's it going, Sal? Thanks for swinging in. I don't think I've seen you here before. Appreciate it. Yeah, basically what I just said.
Yeah, because there's usually one person running the checkout, and they're like the store manager. They're like, "Did you find everything okay?" Yeah. I feel like that's a dumb question. Like,
Yeah.
why are we talking about it now in the middle of checkout when there's 5 people in line? What if I said no? Are we going to stop this, and you and me are going to go walk around and find it while everyone's
Yeah, you
busy?
can't.
Yeah. Hey, I was looking for one of those splash guards for my skillet, like a little mesh thing. Do you guys have those? We do. They're in aisle 8. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. You just go walk around.
You guys hold on. Be right back.
Hey guys, I'll be real quick. I promise. I'll come back with like 6 things. I found some other stuff. Did you? So you
Well, that
did
was my
find
big thing with all these.
I was still kind of looking for one other thing. Like, oh my God.
You have those little matches that are real cute. I remember all days I used to be that way too. You like, man, the vegetables and fruits so cheap, and all you have to do is bring your own box or bag, and then you like get in line. It's like 20 people in the line. Like, crap. I just can't go back.
When I go to Aldi, I feel like I work there. Like,
You do.
you got to rent the cart, you got to stock everything, and then there's not even, you got to buy bags, and then you got to bag your own stuff, and they just throw it all back in the cart, and then they're like, they have have a shelf where you go like put it in, I don't know, it's just
It's a lot like Europe was.
it's so weird.
That's
It's
how
like
Europe
Europe-
was.
Yeah.
I think it's great. That's like why I always take my IKEA bags everywhere.
Of course, there is the other side of that. When I go to Hy-Vee here, there's a guy. He's like a retired guy, and he's an older guy, and he works there. You can tell he's just like, I don't know if when he sacks the groceries, he literally takes each item, puts it in the plastic bag, and then rolls the handles around the thing, and then lays it in the cart. Literally, like every item gets a bag. So when you get out to your vehicle, it's like you got to redo it all. And when he comes over, I'm like, oh my God, dude, just get out. Let me do it. Just let me, seriously. It's terrible. It's like 100 items in your cart, and they're all individually wrapped. It's almost like not having bags. You might as well just stack everything back in the cart and let me go like load it all in my truck.
That's pretty funny.
Me and Hayden start laughing because we're like, oh my God, this guy. I'm like, get over there and bag our stuff really quick. She's like, okay.
Yeah, when I was in Europe, you had to pay for every bag if you didn't bring in your own bag. And after a while, you're like, as long as you know it's whatever. You end up buying less crap too that way. If it saves on some cost.
All right, serious question. This is off topic. I had this thought the other day, and I realized how much time I spend. Like, this is for the chat too. So if you guys are listening, it's really
Hey,
important.
Ansley. Sorry. Thanks for jumping in.
So do you fold your clothes like after you wash them, or do you just throw them back in like a basket? Don't answer that yet, because I feel like when I was married and had the whole family together, we'd do laundry, we'd fold everything, and everybody would take it back to or I would go put it in the kids' rooms or separate the white stuff. Now I'm single and I'm doing laundry, and I'm like, why am I folding my whites? Why don't I just have like a big basket that I throw them all in and just dig them out? Because it seems like a lot of work for nothing. Like, no one else lives here that cares about my laundry. I mean, my daughter lives here, but she has a whole separate area. Do you get me?
Yep.
It's like a really annoying waste of time, just sitting there folding laundry because I have my work uniform in my home. I actually have more laundry than I thought I would, being single, and it's like I was folding it the other day, and I'm like, no one even sees this. What am I doing?
Yeah. It reminds me real quick of Kyle Templeton when I used to go visit him when he lived out in the country, and he is one of 4 kids, and his mom would all their laundry was always in the laundry room.
Mm-hmm.
She just did it and left it there. You had to go get it yourself.
Right.
Because everybody lived upstairs, and I remember at the time going, "What the heck?" And then after a few times going over there, I'm like, "No, I get it. Like, if you had 4 kids you're doing laundry for, not even counting yourself, trying to carry that upstairs every week, all the time, like, I get it. I'd probably leave it here too." But yes, I do the military role.
So you roll it all, even so you put all your socks together and match them all up.
No, I do the military role on all my shirts.
Gina says butt stuff wrinkles if you don't fold, and I read it as butt stuff wrinkles and started laughing to myself. I was like, wait, it's butt stuff wrinkles if you don't fold it.
I read that way too, so it's not just you.
Stuff
Butt
that you
stuff
put on
what?
your butt, wrinkles if you don't fold it.
Wrinkles on my butt. Oh, yes.
I mean more like whites and socks and underwear and t-shirt, like undershirts.
I was getting to that. But so what I do is I just roll everything because that way it doesn't wrinkle and it fits so much better in your drawers. And I learned that from Bryce, being a military guy.
But
and
if you roll it, how do you know which one it is? You clean like t-shirts?
Yeah. Oh, I know them because the colors I have. I only got like 15 that I wear. And so when you roll them, it actually keeps it less. You get less wrinkles than when you just fold, because on the folds you're always going to get wrinkles when it's folded, but when it's rolled, I don't get any wrinkles unless you roll it really terrible. And then with the socks, I just stack them. I just stacked like ones and then just
put them in your socks.
I just stack the like ones and just put it in my drawer like stacked. So I just go. So I know which socks are which, and I just grab them and just go. I don't like.
See, this is real talk. I feel like people don't talk about their laundry, and this is a big deal. Okay, I want to know what y'all are doing out there. Okay, I feel like Kramer right now when he was trying to learn how everybody else showered. How do you shower? He's in there taking notes.
So you don't wash your lettuce in the shower? Okay.
I'm putting a garbage disposer in my shower.
Learn something new every day.
Gina says it's too early for that shenanigans. You don't want conspiracy theory. You don't want butt stuff shenanigans. What do you want? You don't want Kardashians, or you do? We don't know what you want.
This show is obviously for Gina.
Yeah.
You can email me, tell me what
email us what you want to hear, and we'll talk about it. Kyle says, I put that one up. I invented a comforter that has pockets and it holds all your clothes for minimalists and dudes that don't want a dresser. A comforter. So like it's on your bed or it hangs on the wall. That'd be cool. A comforter on your bed that has little pockets in it.
We just
fold or laundry being single, you better give it some attention. It will be noted by anyone you date.
If someone doesn't want to date me because I don't fold, that's actually I would do that on purpose just to get rid of people that are that way. Because if she doesn't like it because I don't fold stuff, she ain't gonna like me for a lot of other reasons.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they mean fold as in like you can't roll it, you have to fold it. I mean they just mean some form of organization. Like if you're just throwing crap everywhere, it's an issue.
Sure.
You roll the shirt so the tag and the graphic is showing. I feel like that's more work than just folding it. Like, because I feel like I would start to roll it and it would have a bunch of wrinkles in it and I'd have to keep redoing it.
See, that's another thing too about me is I actually pick my clothes by just the color I want that day. I don't care what it says or which one it is. I just want that color because black and gray gets boring, and that's how 80% of everybody wears. So
there's color on my shirt. This is red, right? Wait,
I'm not talking to you.
Kardashians
on the bed.
Hey, why don't you hang up your shirts? Don't you have a closet?
Yeah, it's kind of full of a bunch of stuff I'm supposed to sell. I'd honestly it's faster for me to roll them because when I'm pulling them out, just right when I'm pulling them out, I'm already rolling it and putting it in. If I go grab and go put it up and then go put it on, it's going to take me a little more time. So that's just me. Who folds their socks into one another? I can't. I think it's going to this one. That's probably true.
Why are you buying socks at the Dollar Tree that stretch out so bad? Some Under Armour ones that you can put in, you can match them up.
I buy cheap socks.
Why?
I don't know.
Here's what I don't understand. People buy cheap socks and they never buy new shoes. And these are the two things probably on your body as you move through life that give you the most comfort and support out of everything.
Because the cheap socks work just as good as the other ones and they don't wear out.
Do you get those at the Dollar Tree when you get your toilet paper?
I've never had socks from Dollar Tree. I don't know.
What where do you get cheap socks? I've never seen socks.
Hanes. I get Hanes. Cheap. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But shoes, yes. It's for facts. I have to get good shoes. It's important. Good shoes and a good bed. First time breaking the cherry.
Do you listen to a theme song before we start? Do you have a theme song or something you listen to in the mornings?
Today it was "Don't Break My Heart" by Tony Braxton.
Oh wow! Is it? No. It's "Unbreak My Heart," isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. Tony. I listen to Frank Sinatra, New York, New York, every week.
Interesting.
On repeat for like 10 minutes before we start.
Of course, I was just kidding, but I did listen to that this morning.
I wasn't. I got to get pumped up. You know?
I usually just do 90s hits. They usually give you like the stuff I've never even heard of. I'm like, this was a hit? When? Hey, Ella. How's it going? I love listening to her talk. She's funny.
I don't think I've ever seen her stuff. She put out videos?
She does auctions.
Oh, okay.
Hurts. Don't roll up the shirt.
I think he's talking about something else.
Yeah.
He's talking about laundry, Kyle.
It reminds me of ZZ Top's name. Zigzags and Tops, their favorite rolling papers. God, I remember using a bong in college. Ooh. That was like stupidest thing. It's like when you get to a beer bong, it's like if you get to the point you're at a beer bong, you're probably either on spring break or you're going to have a terrible week.
Yeah.
Toy show. That sounds fun.
Gina says, theme from Greatest American Hero. You know, you sold that record, so you probably can't even play it now.
I've got two. I've got another one. I just found it the other day, cleaned it.
What's the cover on it? Does it have a cool cover?
Yeah, it's a cool cover. It's like the symbol from it. It's like all red.
Do you have it listed?
It's gone. Someone bought it fast.
You just said I have two. Oh, you're keeping one.
I don't have a cover on the other one. Just one of them I had the original cover. Yeah, she does unboxings too. That's right. I've seen them. I forget what everybody does in their channels.
It's like you don't even care.
Yeah.
God, I used to watch that show so much.
Breathe. A wing on a prayer. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It was Ella's birthday today.
How old are you?
I know it. I heard her say.
You know?
She doesn't look it. That's for dang sure.
She looks way older.
Yeah, like 1,000. I think Ella she's at like 800 subscribers too, so she's getting close to her 1,000. It's always kind of cool whenever the auction people get to 1,000 because they got their, I can only imagine how hard it is to run auctions. Honestly, seriously, like, especially if you have to bring all the stuff from your storage to you, and then some of it take back to your storage if it doesn't sell. Then you have to sell it and then ship it all out at one time. I bet that is really super hard. So
Yeah.
when they actually can get monetized, it's nice that they can actually make some money off their auctions to make it a little bit more worth their time. Of course, it's probably not very much, but because they don't they don't pay out on lives near as much. But
Mm-hmm. We didn't get anybody in the chat today from back from high school,
oh, that's true.
or they didn't say anything because we had a couple watching in the beginning that
Didn't say anything. There's always lurkers. I get it. Sometimes I watch a lot of lives and don't say anything just because I'm usually.
You ever wonder if there's somebody from our past that like watches these every Saturday and like never says anything?
Yes.
And they either like really like it or they really hate us and we don't.
Oh yeah.
God, I hate those guys. They're like we're the ones on the list of people they want to kill, and they're like laying there looking at the list.
They're still mad that we played Snoop Dogg. They're still mad we played Snoop Dogg that loud back in high school.
Yeah. That guy's car stereo was so loud. I
hate those guys.
They're so dumb.
What was I say?
Hopefully something good.
Oh, crap.
Should I wait or
no? It's not worth it.
Keep going.
I forget who. There was somebody on YouTube anyway, someone commented on one of my posts, and I was kind of surprised. Hopefully, they might be watching. Who was it? Oh, I had an ex-girlfriend tell me one time. I'm like, hey, it's good to see you. She goes, well, I see you all the time. I watch all your videos. I'm like, really? Okay. So, you know.
Which one that is?
Huh?
Which one? Say it in code.
Anyway. I got.
Oh my gosh.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
And actually, I can't say it on here. What were you gonna say? Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking with you, and I forget there's other people on here.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I can't really say that.
I know when we first started doing this, I was really aware of that, and now I'm way less. And I think sometimes I kind of catch myself in the middle of stuff, and I kind of turn back out of it as I kind of dip into something. I don't want to say that on the internet. It'll be here forever.
Yeah, knowing like your dad watches this stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I can't talk about all this shady stuff I did back in high school, like sneaking out of the house. And actually, I've told him those stories. So,
yeah, Ella looks like she's 35, 40 the most. It's not fair. I look like I'm 60. I'm not.
I'm 45, but I probably look at least 43. So,
44 for sure.
I just turned 45, so
it is weird to think 1,000 people are subscribed to your channel. You know, I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's a lot is in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much in comparison to what you need or want out of it, but it's still a lot of people. Like if you had 1,000 people that showed up at a speech you were giving, it would be like insane.
I think it's a good point about how like some people think they want something, but if they actually got it, they'd be like, you know. I think there's a lot of people that do YouTube thinking they want 10,000 subscribers, but when you get 10,000 subscribers, there's a lot of things to deal with that most people don't want to deal with, I'm sure.
That's interesting. She got her watch hours. She just needs to hit 1,000 subscribers. So she's already getting that many people watching her content. She just doesn't have enough actual subscribers.
It's the lives. When you do lives, you get so many watch hours compared. Because most of the time you're making a video, it's 6 to 10 minutes long. You're getting half the time watched, so people are watching like 5 minutes of it. And here, people watch usually like average like 15 minutes per viewing. And so if they're watching an auction, a lot of them are staying around the entire time. And a lot of people like me aren't really watching, but
it's just
giving her 3 hours. Yeah.
Have you hit 6 figures yet with our Saturday morning lives?
Close. Yeah, I haven't looked at my watch hours in a long time. I'm way far away from watch hours.
I'll be expecting a check.
I'll send you a couple records there, bub.
I'll pay you in product.
Product. I hope you like the Beatles. I have some
Like-
tape.
Hope you like Elvis 45s.
I have plenty. I hope you like Taylor Dane. I have 20 of the same song, so.
Hope you like Michael Bolton.
God, Michael Bolton's terrible. I mean, I go back and
I
there's
actually
some,
remember.
there's some people I didn't like when I was a kid, and then I listen to him now. I'm like, but like, I listen to him, it's like it just sounds like it's so forced or something. It's so weird.
Was this like instrumental jazz, or did he actually sing? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's singing a little weird. I don't know. He's just weird sound out of his.
Yeah.
It's like he was trying to sound soulful, but he really wasn't. You know what I mean? Like he does under the sitting on the dock of the bay. It's terrible. It's like Bette Midler. She's awful. Like there was 145, but it's like a live version of her singing something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was I think it was Otis Redding. I think it was like an old R&B song, and she's trying to sing it cool and better and different than the other person. It's so awful. I just remember thinking, people like Bette Midler. It's crazy.
Kramer did.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I don't remember.
He got into I think it was her, because he got into a thing where she was like, she was putting on a show like somewhere, and he was like in their room getting her stuff in her green room or whatever, or her dressing room. Like he was like her security, unofficial.
Are you allowed to play some of the music collection live? No, it has to be less than like 7 seconds or something like that. They'll take down the video. That's why like I could play guitar, and since it's not the studio version, so the studio can't come after me. So that's why I play the guitar. But I've thought about that too. Is on eBay you could put videos in there now. I can show that. I can put a video in now and show it tested, so they can hear it and know it's a good one that's not popping. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done that yet, but that's gonna be my next thing to mess with. I did the categories the other day, so I got a little more organized in my eBay store.
Man, ever since I actually opted into that Seller Hub on my my account, I'm still learning where everything's at, because it's completely different now. So it's taking longer to do everything. Yep.
And you can move it around how you want it to, because it's kind of big. But I love the analytics. It's like showing. I love those analytics. I know you will once you start selling some more. Oh, rock fans. I'm a rock freak.
All right, we're over an hour. Ready to shut her down there, bub?
Yeah, I need to go. Just get everybody's comments here. It's nice seeing Ansley in here. Mother's Mustache. I think that's a great name.
That is a good name. What are you up to today?
Actually, I'm taking a bunch of stuff up to the flea market and antique mall. Kind of run out a bunch of stuff, so I'm just kind of restocking it, and going to work on some of my equipment and getting ready for next week when I start mowing again. Got a power wash tomorrow. Golden Corral.
You gonna hit the buffet while you're there? Pile of potatoes.
You smell like grease. Yeah, I just did the back deck.
Hey,
Something I can't smell. Last time I did the back deck, I couldn't smell any of that nasty grease. You know that smell, like fry dust at the bottom, grease condensing. Ugh.
It's one of the positives of having COVID, not being able to smell as good.
Yeah, seriously. That's something I was going to tell you. I know for a fact, since the last 3 months, I cannot smell and I can't taste, but my sight and my hearing has become more sensitive. I know. I haven't been able to see this good. I don't even know how long, since I was a kid. And some stuff that I've heard a million times now is like more sensitive than it used to be.
I can actually see what you're thinking right now.
Your brain is 50% of it is used for eyesight, so it makes sense. Hey, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it.
I did want to say, I was thinking this morning. So I like over the past few years, I've kind of developed like eczema, like there's just like a rash in your elbow that itches and will never go away. And since I quit doing sugar and carbs last week, it's all went away. Like, and I've truly went through the series of like people, like you go to like a dermatologist and you're like, okay, I've got this rash on my knee. It itches all the time. It won't go away. And they're like, yeah, it's probably eczema. Here's a cream for it. This steroid cream.
And here's some sugar.
You put that on there and it kind of helps it, but it never goes away. But then if you stop eating sugar and carbs, the rash just goes away. So how do they not know it's what I'm eating? Because every time something's wrong with my body, it's always something I'm doing and I didn't realize it. Like I'm taking some supplement or doing something that I didn't know was bad, or that I was just overdoing it with something or eating something too much and it causes some kind of weird reaction in your body. And it's like, it's so ridiculous because the whole healthcare thing, they just like want to give you something to like, and I'm sure some people listening right now think I'm like a kook, or like, no, the doctors are definitely looking out for you. It's like, I realize some of them are in the case of disease and surgeries and certain things, but there's a lot of them that are just like, they look at a thing and they're like, here's a steroid, get out of here. That's all they care about. It's disgusting.
I agree. We know that sugar is pretty much the worst thing you could do yourself. And the funny is, fat has been blamed for cholesterol and all these different things when sugar has always been the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like they found out that having high cholesterol doesn't give you heart attacks. It's just that everybody that has a heart attack has high cholesterol. It doesn't mean that it causes it. When I stopped doing sugar back in 2007 or 8, my acne went away completely. And my family has always had acne. And they all still have it because they all still do sugar. And I told them that years ago, but they all look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, hey, I have your genes. I don't have any of that stuff. You all do. It's the sugars. If you just cut back some of it, it'll help a lot. And who knows what else it's doing wrong.
I just thought it was so. Actually, now that I think about it, and this is an interesting fact, I started developing eczema like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it's kind of interesting that probably would have happened a few years after I quit working at Cisco. And Cisco was the job that was like an industrial athlete. Like I had to work so hard. So I was probably burning it all off, what I was eating. And then after a few years of changing jobs and I wasn't burning it all off, I started overloading, or my body couldn't clear the sugar. And I started developing the skin rashes. I don't know, probably some of it's due to a healthcare professional, but it is interesting that started happening. And when I went to the dermatologist and I was like, I just have this now. What is this? And they're like, oh, you probably just got a little eczema going on. And I remember asking, can you just get eczema? I thought you were like born with that or you had it your whole life. And they were like, no, you can just get it. But now it's interesting that since I have quit sugar and carbs, it's all just gone.
And it's weird. Like I told you, what you'll find too is your stomach won't hurt. I used to always go, I'm hungry because your stomach hurt. It doesn't do that when you let go of sugar, but sugar is tricking your body into making your stomach hurt. So you'll feed it sugar. And the instant you do it, it goes, I feel so much better. So you think you're like helping something, but really it's just sugar tricking your body into giving it more. And that's what I learned over time, because I don't really get hungry anymore. I just feed myself when I know I need to keep the energy going. You know what I mean?
We're going out here after a while. We're going to run down to Kansas City, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to eat today because we're probably going to be going out. And anywhere we go, it's just going to be like.
You'll get to the point where it's like you don't want your stomach to hurt, so you get a cheeseburger, and you'll just like I started doing it, like I tear it away like it's a wrapper. I just tear the bread away, eat the
Yeah.
burger, tear the bread away, eat the burger. After a while, you don't want the bread because you said the same thing the other day. Once you don't eat bread for a while, I mean, it just
Yeah.
tastes like pure sugar when you don't
Well,
eat bread. But
well,
when
like
you're used to eating bread, it actually tastes like earthy and like it doesn't even taste sweet to you when you're used to eating bread.
right.
It's obvious when you don't.
Mother's mustache says eczema is a form of inflammation, correct? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's
Well, and that makes sense too because sugar. Most doctors they tell you like that's one of the things they don't give their kids because it's literally like putting glass particles in your blood.
yeah.
So I'm sure it's just causing inflammation all over your body.
It's actually crazy because I've been reading a lot and trying to study it a lot since I started feeling like crap a few weeks ago, and I started changing the way I eat. And the more I learn about it, the more I'm amazed. It's just one other thing that is such a big like misnomer, or just it's like a sham scam that we're all part of. It's just like there's sugar everywhere, and it's like you shouldn't eat that much. Maybe a little bit, maybe a dessert here and there, but you shouldn't eat the way we do. And then everywhere you go, everything you eat, anywhere besides at home, if you're just eating protein, everything is built for you in a form of almost 70% carb ratio for your whole meal. Anywhere you go eat.
Yep.
And it's like you should not eat that much, and it's not good for you at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not an expert on it. I've just been reading about it a lot lately, and it's kind of consuming my
it's
life. Kind of annoyed at how much it's like even stuff I thought I was looking at that was low sugar, or stuff I've looked back on that I thought maybe was better for me. I'm looking at it, but the carbs are like off the chart. Like I was like, well, I haven't had any rice lately. Let me see, because I was making like a chicken Alfredo meal the other day, and I kind of wanted something to like put it on. But I'm thinking, well, anything I put this on is a carb, noodles, rice, anything. So I pulled out this frozen pack of rice I had that has veggies in it, and I was wondering how many carbs it is. Dude, it was like 80 some carbs in this bag of rice, like this big.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I don't know what your RDA is for that, but it was, I mean, that's probably your whole daily allowance for carbs.
Yeah. There's so many things too. It's like people think that all fruits are good for you. It's not true. You know, I mean, bananas are just a sugar stick. They have very little potassium in it. They always tell you there's tons of potassium in it. No, eat a mango. There's so many other things that have potassium.
Have you looked up the nutritional info for mangoes? Dude, it's ridiculous, because me and Hayden like to get a mango and cut it up, and she's like, they're so good. And I'm like, yeah, they're amazing. I looked up the nutritional info for mangoes. It was like 40 carbs or something in one mango, and the sugar was like almost 30 grams, I think, just for like an average mango.
Yep.
But an interesting fact, strawberries have almost no sugar or carbs in them at all. I feel like a strawberry is like a superfood because it tastes really good and sweet, and there's like nothing in it. And, you know, honestly, all my research is based off Google. So if I say something wrong, I apologize.
Well, if I remember right, too, I had a friend that she did the Weight Watchers, which I think is a great idea because it's just counting your calories in, calories out. It's huge. But of course, they're making you eat their product and pay for it. But one of the things they talk about is a mango by itself.
See you, Gina.
Is good for you, and it doesn't count against you. But if you dehydrate the mango, it actually does count against you because there's actually more sugars in a dehydrated mango than the regular mango. It's like, that's interesting.
Hey, I gotta jump off here. I gotta roll.
Heard one more thing, and I used to always think orange juice was so good for you.
Yeah.
No, it's like
worse than a Mountain Dew.
It's like they tell you if you have diabetes and you're low on sugar, you chug OJ. Don't drink it unless. And I was like, oh, so it's not a good thing. So I stopped drinking that.
One other thing I wanted to say real quick, what we were talking about the other day, and you were talking about low blood sugar for diabetics, and we were talking about that. One of the reasons they say that is because people that are officially diabetic, the medication they take lowers their blood sugar so much. Sometimes they have to eat something to actually get, because they're actually so low, their blood sugar is so low, they start getting real faint. So they have to take a little shot of something to balance it out. And that's why they might say eat something sugary, I think. And
if I remember right, too, the reason why they have diabetes is because their body stops producing the insulin, which is not what I thought it was. It was how the sugar is like divvied out to your body. The insulin helps it to push to your rest of your body.
So what I understand, what I've read, and I think, is there's two types of type 2. One of them is insulin resistance, and one of them is if your body doesn't produce enough insulin. So insulin is what actually carries the sugar and morphs it into the blood for energy.
Yep.
And you're either insulin resistant or you don't have enough, which I don't know. Someone's probably going to be offended by our conversation right now, but this is the stuff I've read.
Yeah. Well, it's like I told you when I was a kid, my mom used to make me carry around a sugar because I would get low sugar and get shaky, and I'd take it. I never have that ever since I stopped doing sugar. It's because it's the sugar that's making you shaky in the first place, and then you're giving yourself, like a doctor, some sugar to keep you going. So yeah.
All right, I gotta jump off.
Yeah, I'm saying. All right, well,
see everybody. Have a good Saturday. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining, everybody.
See you, Anthony.
Later.
Bye.